So as the years have progressed then, and you know, like I say, you get into the trance years, end of the 90s, going into 2000, you know, you're in Ibiza a lot, you're playing all sorts of different music, the scene changes a lot, culture changes a lot, technology changes a lot. How's that affected you in your industry, the way technology's changed, and you know, the way we access music, the way we value music even?
Yeah, I sort of embraced it really. So by 2003, I started playing CDs. And I remember that. I think one of the first places I did that was Paradise, actually. I remember going over there in the summer, and the thing with CDs was I could record all my tunes and then start chopping them up at home and start editing them and stuff and actually remastering. There was always a few tunes that were a little bit of a low pressing or whatever, that on some systems it just didn't quite cut it. So I managed to I could then record them put them onto CD and master everything, get everything nice and loud and EQ'd a bit more, and then chop out all the boring bits, which I ended up doing with tons and tons of my music. So I embraced the whole CD thing, the whole digital thing. Eventually, I got a controller in 2011 and moved over to Tractor, which was a huge move, really big move. But again, just sort of embracing the new technology, it just meant I could do a lot more stuff creatively and live while I was DJing. And then over the past few years, I've moved from that to USB with Record Box, which is another better step for me as well. I'm absolutely loving the technology at the moment, what you can do with stuff. It just really, really works for me. I can add cue points and loops and do all this stuff with the tracks.
So the argument for a long time.
I'm not one of these ones who's like, no, it's got to be vinyl.
Yeah.
No, I'm the opposite of that.
Well, for a little while, that argument was, you know, the skill and the art of mixing vinyl got lost in, you know, DJing through, like say, CDs on the CDJs. But then, as you move into Tractor and as you start using these programs and, like you say, the ability to be on the fly and creating loops and doing things, so it's almost like it's gone back round to it's even more of a live situation now, in the way that you can start triggering, playing along in on the move.
It's actually more time consuming. I spend hours downloading my tunes and then reading them, putting cue points on every single tune that I'll play. Making sure they're mastered properly and tagged and artwork and stuff. I'll spend a lot more time in prep, I think, and then making playlists, going through everything, practicing and stuff. And my shows, I'm doing a couple of shows every week now, and they would sound very, very different if I was playing off vinyl. Very different. And for me, they wouldn't sound as good.
Right, got you.
It's not hard. It's not if you've been mixing for 30 odd years, it's not hard to mix, but it's limited. You know, I always say with vinyl, you can put the needle on the record and it's pretty much there until you take it off. You can't change anything, you know, unless you're doing some weird tricks, or you might say, well, you can scratch or whatever. But in general, you can't. It's on, and then you take it off at the point where you want to. But with digital, put as many, you put up to 8 cue points on and flick to 8 different places if you want. If you got it in quantize, it's going to stay in time. Stuff, you can loop some of the stuff you can do with looping. I mean, I'm just probably touching the surface on what you can actually do, even with what I do. You know. I'm not really a showman anyway. I don't really care what it looks like. To me, I don't care whether anyone can see me or whatever. It's just what comes out the speakers. And as long as I can see people dancing and smiling and enjoying it, I'm happy.
As we sit here today, then, obviously, as you alluded to, things have had to change. We live in a mad time. I don't want to get too bogged down in this COVID chat, but obviously the world has changed, and you're super active, like you say, doing shows and putting stuff out, so how have you found that, and already by listening to what you're saying about going through the technology. I'm sure you've adapted and pivoted and made the most of it, because you certainly seem super busy. How's it been?
Yeah, I mean, I'd never done my own live stream like that before at all on Facebook or anything. I've done it a couple of times at radio stations or whatever, where they've had a camera. But yeah, so I had to get used to. I had to get myself set up back in March, which was a bit of a problem. A few mistakes and stuff. But yeah, I thought, well, if I'm not going to do that, what am I going to do? And I know we only thought it was going to be a few weeks or a month until we were back to normal at the time, which seems quite mental now. But I just thought, I'm not going to sit back and just let the world go by. No way. So I just thought, right, I've got to do this. I just stuck with doing streams for the people that I knew, people that I was connected with, and just with the people that I wanted to. I didn't just sort of take anything on. I had loads and loads of requests. I didn't want to use all my energy up just willy nilly, but I just stuck with people like your Moon Dance and some people that I knew, and some of the brands that really sort of gel with what I'm doing and with what I'm doing moving forward, like the more houseier stuff. And it seems to have worked really well. I think we had like 7,000 people on the first Moon Dance stream, which was mental. It's like 15, probably 15, 20,000 people, maybe more.